What is going on, guys? So let me do a little trickery right here. Hold on a second, because I got some freaking music that I was busting down. There we go. I hope this isn't too loud, but I shouldn't get a copyright for this because the boys at Metal Archive, I'm pretty sure it's the Music Archive, they remix a lot of my favorite video game music, and one of them right now when I'm listening to it, they just dropped it. It's Final Fantasy, flipping freaking dickin' sticking around in the mud. Get yourself out, look around a little bit, and you figure it out. Final Fantasy 9 metal remix. So that's what I'm bumping to right now, and I'm like, you know what? Why not make a freaking video, talk about my freaking day, and have a cigarette with you guys, have a smoke and some beers, and play some of my freaking favorite music, but metal remix. So I should get a copyright, hopefully, because I do this before and I was playing like Legend of Zelda music, like the original shit, Final Fantasy, and I got copyrighted strike, right? But this shouldn't get copyrighted strike because technically it's a remix. And I think I'm gonna go the whole 9 yards with this video and upload this guy's channel, put it up in there. But yeah, let's talk, guys. Let's talk. So first of all, I got this big beanie on my head. I'm doing an experiment with my hair, so I kind of have more naturally curly hair. And maybe I'll take it off soon, but I'm trying to leave it on. But I get out of the shower, I put some like wax in my hair, and then I comb it down, and I like straighten it down, and then I put down the beanie, so that way it flattens it. I did it today, but I did it without the wax and stuff, and it did make my hair look pretty damn straight. So now I'm kind of going the whole 9 yards. I put it on very meticulously. I'm gonna turn this down a little bit. This might actually be kind of loud. I put it down a little meticulously, so that way it's staying flat, it's not getting frizzy. I'm fucking itching on the side of my fucking head. I look like a damn cholo right now. Hey. But yeah, so that's my experiment here. Maybe I'll take it off at the end of the video and see where my hair is at. But I want to talk about the freaking awesome blessing I got from yours truly, the Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call it, the divine love. I'm just call it the Holy Spirit, all right? But freaking today, I'm at work, and I'm looking at how much money I have in my car, and I'm like, damn, I want to get some beers after work. I'm out of tobacco, and I go to freaking work, and I'm like, please, freaking God, Holy Spirit, just let me get a $20 tip. Let me get something. All right, so it's already predestined, okay? So let me backtrack. Today is Tuesday. I think it was Sunday. I was at work, and this woman came out of her room, and she asked for like coffee and stuff like that, and I guess I had like a good attitude or whatever, and I was kind of goofing around. I'm just chilling. I'm just like having a good time. I'm freaking getting a workout in while I'm freaking doing my rooms, and then I give her some, and she's like, oh, thank you so much. She's like, are you gonna be here tomorrow? And I was like, I'm not gonna be here tomorrow, but I'll be here Tuesday. And she's like, okay, well, I'll make sure to give you a tip, okay? And I'm like, oh, thank you so much, whatever, And then and I'll roll up in a second, all right, guys, so we can smoke together. But I was like, man, they might not give me her room to clean on Tuesday. That might not happen, right? So long and behold, they did give me her room, and I go up in there, and I see this note, and she's like, this is for you, Evan. Thank you very much. And it was $40. She gave me $40, 2 20s, dude. All I asked today was for a 20 because I got this pouch of American Spirit tobacco, and usually it's like 27, but I know a place where it's only 20, and I won't indulge into that, but it's only 20. Usually stuff is like 27, so it's like you can get a pack of American tobacco cigarettes for like 17. They got it for the same price like everywhere else, but then you get a whole pouch. They have this freaking pouch here, $20 straight up. If you got cash, it's $20 straight up. So I'm like, holy crap. So now I had 40, and I was like, well, now I can also get a freaking 6-pack after work and enjoy this beautiful nature on my porch. And then I go into one of the other rooms, and what do I find? A whole freaking, not the whole pack, but it's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. It wasn't totally full, but I find this bad boy, and there are now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 in there now, so I guess there was 7 total. 7 total, because I'm already on my second one right now. Dude, freaking blessings, brother. Freaking blessings. I'm not gonna act like I know everything. I fucking don't, but that was a freaking blessing, man. So then I was able to get some tobacco because I had like such a little bit, and I had like skinny little tobacco this morning at work, and it just didn't drive me. It wasn't satisfactory. So I've been kind of slow at work, and then I finally got this. I had some coffee, took down some Joe, and then I smoked, and then bam, you know, my boss, she comes in, it's like 1:30. I start at 9. Technically, we start getting at the rooms at like 9:30, and I only had 3 rooms done, and I think I had 10 today, and I freaking she comes in at one of my rooms. It's like 1:30, and she's like, Evan, please don't tell me you only have 3 rooms done. And I was like, yes, I know I've been a little slow, but don't worry, you're gonna be happy when I'm done. Because then I was on a roll there. I got the Spirit back in me, the Holy Spirit driving me, whatever you want to call it. I got the Spirit, I got the Thumos back, and it was driving me. And I got all those 7 rooms done by I think like 4:20. So that. They usually give you 30 minutes a room, right? Let's see here. I also said, not only are you going to be happy, you're going to be impressed. And she was, because I was like, she's like, you're done already? I'm like, yeah, I'm done. And she's like, what? And I was like, I told you you'd be impressed. You know, and that makes me happy. I don't think that you should constantly look for outside validation, but I think, you know, if you want to go deep about it, in, also out, kind of one and the same, but also not. There's levels to this shit that I'm not fully aware of, and I'm not going to act like I am so I can sound like some freaking dweeb nerd who's like, I know everything about the universe, like a fucking, Jesus Christ, okay. But, yeah, so I'm freaking, I think, okay, so 1:30, and not only that, like I step out a few times, you know, I might have a smoke here and there, and I freaking, okay, 1:30 to about 4:30, that's 2:30, 3:30, it's about 3 hours. I would actually say, no, I wasn't done at 4:30. I was done around like 4:20, 4:15, right? And I had to go, because I clocked out for lunch, but then I started just going back to work while on lunch, and then I had to go clock in. So that took a little bit of my time. So ultimately, let's just say I started at 1:45, right? 1:45, 1:50, all right? So that's about 2.5 hours. So you got 7 rooms, you got 30. Don't worry, guys. I know I'm ranting right now. We're already 7 minutes in, but that's about 2.5 hours. 2.5. So 1 room, 30 minutes. So freaking 1, 2, 3, 4. So that should have taken me 3 hours and 30 minutes. That took me about 2.5 hours, 2 hours and a half to get all those rooms done. So it's exciting. I work with this other guy. Let me roll this shit up right here. You know me. I've got my American Spirit organic tobacco. I'm not Jacob Jones. I don't get a whole bunch of different stuff. I might open up a Patreon, help me buy a cup of coffee. But maybe I'll start doing stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because I do like the little aesthetics of things that I enjoy. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think the idiot, the dweeb, overthinks it way too much. It's like, well, this world isn't even real. I'm like, what are you even talking about? What is real, brother? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, there's levels to it, but now at this point, you just sound like a dweeb who's so caught up in your own bullshit. No wonder you're sad all the time. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. I feel like shit too if I thought like that, which I used to. It made me feel like freaking crap-oni, brother. Crap-oni. You gotta do what works for you and find that balance between your friends and your life. You don't want to get so conceited with your own shit that you lose touch with your friends and the people you care about, but also a little bit delusional in certain ways. You know what I'm saying? Because other people, they might call you arrogant, cocky, delusional, overconfident, but they're projecting. That's what they're doing. A lot of times they're projecting. They want to get you down on their level and how they think and how they perceive the world. You know, so if it's helping you, if going to work out before you have drinks and stuff helps you feel better and feel good, and that's that balance right there, great. You know, Elisha Long always talk about retard maxim. You know, there's a balance there, brother. I think having structure is good. If you have been homeless or anything like that, or fucked your life a little bit in that point, my biggest thing was marijuana. I freaking wasn't just, marijuana, what the fuck? Then I started mixing with tobacco, dude. Just the place that I was going. Mentally, some people could do that. But the place I would go, I was really a deep thinker. I'd always try to mentally, like, what is the world? Oh, you watch a lot of YouTube videos. I've noticed a lot of guys that are like, they talk like that. I mean, we all do. But who are you going to take in your field? So they watch a lot of these theoretical YouTube videos about what the universe is and all this bullshit, and actually make some more stuff. Because now they're more in their head and they're overthinking everything. You know what I mean? I always keep bringing back when you were a kid, you weren't thinking about, am I happy? Am I happy? No, you're just fucking. You never thought about that shit. You never thought about like, am I happy? Am I horny? Am I do this? Am I do that? And blah 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 blah. There might be things that you do and you're like, oh shit, that wasn't cool, you know. And then that's it. You know, keep it simple, brother. Keep it a little bit simple. You start overthinking everything, you become a dweeb. That's why I like Elijah Long's always like, you're the idiot. You're the real idiot, brother. You're the idiot because now you're missing out on a lot of life. Because there's a part of you that might not think or say that thinks they know almost everything. You'd be like, I don't know everything. But a part of you, you think we're really in touch with some shit, which you might be. But also the simple fact that this reality exists, I'm rolling up now, alright? I'm rolling up now, okay? But the simple fact that this reality exists is enough for me to be like, whoa, this is fucking crazy. I get sad, I get mad, I get happy, I get joyful, I get aggressive. There's things that irritate me, you know what I mean? It's like, that's crazy. You know, if you were so beyond that, then, you know, I think a little bit of stoicism is good. It's like, take control of what you can take control of. Try not to worry about everything outside of yourself that you can't really do anything about. And, you know, that's where it's like balance for me is key. You know, my balance is different than your balance, you know what I'm saying? But you know what's a good movie? Equilibrium. Equilibrium, such a good freaking movie with Christian Bale. Came out early 2000s, and listen to me here, all right? Great movie. If you haven't seen it, watch it. I might even put a link in the description for the trailer. But even then, the trailer does not do it justice, okay? So, synopsis of the movie basically is they live in a time period in the distant future, a utopia. I don't know if it's a utopia or whatever word you got to use there, but they block out feeling. It's all logical. They take away, they find these people, there's like people they find, kind of like Demolition Man a little bit, but the people, they find people that have art and books and all that, and Christian Bale is an equalizer, so he's one of the top elite soldiers that they find these people, they kill them, and then they burn everything, right? So his partner ends up falling in love with a girl, you don't find out until later, so kind of spoiling it, my bad, but he, ends up finding his partner, he has a book. So his partner's reading a book and he has to kill his partner. And his partner is reading this book and he's like, his partner's putting up the book and he's like, when you tread on my dreams, you tread on something else. I forgot what he said, you gotta watch it. And he puts the book up in his face and Christian Bale shoots him in the head with a gun. Oh, and also, side note, they have to take this medication. Let me turn this down another notch. This might be fucking loud. I might watch this video and be like, fuck! You can barely hear me. It's good that I'm being loud to overcompensate. But Christian Bale, so they all, at every, like, you're walking around, everybody's wearing gray, there's no color or anything like that, right? And they all have to take this, like, medicine to suppress their emotions and feelings, right? And the movie has, like, this very gray undertone. I'm going to kind of spoil it here, but I'm going to try my best not to. But I need to give description in order to really, you know, nail home what it is that I'm talking about. And I really hope this video gets some views. Maybe in the future, maybe I'll have a video that pops up and people subscribe to my channel, because I really think this movie should be watched by everybody. It's a really good movie. But maybe I'll pop off one day and then people start watching all my older shit. And I got a lot of other shit, but I can digress into that later on, alright? But so basically, this beautiful fucking girl just walked by. Beautiful. So basically, they all have to take this medication. Like, there'll be a timer that goes off, like an alarm throughout the whole city. Make sure you take your medication and stop the feelings, right? So basically, Christian Bale misses one of his medications, so he starts to kind of feel a little bit. And then they have to arrest this girl. Let me light this shit up, because we're already 14 minutes in and I haven't lit it up. It's not all about me smoking, alright? I just wanted to kill my passion and my drive for what it is that I'm talking about right now. You ever watch those videos when people smoke and start to smoke with them? I do that. I do that at times. I do that. So Christian Bale has to arrest this girl for, I forget what the fuck they call it. They call it like feeling, not feeling, they have a specific word for it. Also, they have this thing called gun kata, where it's like gun jiu-jitsu. It's like they learn how to shoot people from all angles and shit and use the gun as a weapon. It's crazy. Fucking badass. But he ends up having to arrest this girl, sensory something, I forgot what it's called. And he's kind of off the meds a little bit. He missed a day. And everything's kind of gray, like I said earlier. And then he puts her at the wall. He's like, look at you. And he like looks at her in the mirror while he's trying to prove a point to her. And then all of a sudden you can see that the movie actually gives some color. And then he's looking at her, he's like, because he's like, whoa, she's beautiful. Like, what the fuck? You know, so also, side note, his wife died, apparently, and this guy's got 2 sons. But he was like, whoa, holy shit. So he's interviewing her, and she's gonna be taking a process, and she's like, processing? You mean they're gonna kill me, basically? And he's like, if you follow all the questions, da 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 da. And she's like, why are you alive? He's like, I live to keep up the civil system or whatever. And she's like, so that makes no sense. You just live to like, not live. You live to. I'm butchering it, but she's like, it's just reciprocal or some shit. She's like, it makes no sense. You're just like a ticking clock with no air. You're just tick tock till you're dead. There's nothing there. You know what I'm saying? So, oh my god, I'm just gonna break this whole goddamn movie down because this is gonna fucking conceal my point here. All right, guys. But what I was talking about earlier. So she's, taking the process and all that stuff. There's later on in the movie something. But he ends up starting to kind of feel and tick a little bit. He's like, what the fuck? So there's a beautiful freaking scene in the movie, right? Where he wakes up, he's just kind of like itching and sweating. He's like, oh, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? And he looks out of his window, but he can't really look out his window because all their windows have like a gray kind of taping over them, right? So he looks out his window, he just starts clawing at it, and like then he can see outside, and then all of a sudden he sees the beautiful sun. It's raining. There's a rainbow. He sees the beauty, and he's like touching it. He's like, oh my god. He just like breaks down crying, dude. He breaks down crying. It's so beautiful, dog. In a world where they're not supposed to feel at all, and he breaks down crying, dude. It's beautiful. So then there's scenes where he sees this old lady, like they're like all walking up like the steps out of a subway or something like that. This lady takes off, like she's feeling the railing. She just wants to feel something so bad. She's feeling the railing, brother. And so he takes off his glove because now he's starting to feel. And he starts to feel the railing. He's like, oh my god, like, oh my freaking god. And another beautiful scene, and then I'll leave it at that so I don't spoil the whole entire fucking movie. If you're interested in Equilibrium, Christian Bale, check it out. So there's another scene, right? So I think it's a little later. They have to raid a place because they have all this art and stuff. So Christian Bale's character finds this room by himself, and he sees all this stuff. These people collect all these books, these knickknacks, music. They have vinyl, and he finds this vinyl, and it's like Beethoven, and he's like, And I don't know how he figured it out. I guess he's a smart fellow, but he puts it on the vinyl, and then he plays it. And it starts off very slow, and then he's looking at a snow globe, and he's shaking it, and then all of a sudden the music really starts to hit. And he's like, it like zooms up on his eye, and he's like, and he drops the snow globe, and he's like, and he can't help, he like sits down, and it's not said, but he's like, holy shit, this is what I've been missing, what the fuck is this? And it's one of the most beautiful scenes in my freaking mind in movie cinematography history ever, dude. And my whole point when I was bringing that up is that the simple fact that we can feel and do all these things, we get so many people that become dweebs, they get so in their freaking head about everything that blocks you out from really seeing the beauty of life at times. There's awful, horrible things that can happen, but there's so many beautiful things. That's why I love listening to my Final Fantasy music sometimes, sit on the porch by myself and just feeling it, dude. I am not one to shy away that I have broken down and cried, brother. And I think if a lot of grown men felt the feelings I was feeling, they might break down and cry too, brother. I start remembering my mom. I start remembering just all the beauty and all the things and the synchronicities and how it's just so amazing that we're even fucking here. Some people are just horrible, but I think that we've been blessed enough. If you're watching this, we might have been blessed enough that we do have certain good memories. I don't have the best of childhoods, but also I can remember all the good shit, all those good feelings, brother. the love of your mother. You know, even if your dad, you know, it's not the same for everybody. Even if your dad was like a dickhead, which mine was definitely a dickhead a lot of times, but there's a lot of good there, dude. And there's a lot of good that, whoo, fuck, dude. There's a lot of fucking beauty in this world, you know. There's a lot of fucking beauty in this world, and it's phenomenal, dude. And I think a lot of these people, they don't think about this stuff or let it hit them. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, what is the point of this? And blah blah blah. And maybe your life is so fucked that you have nothing. You have nothing to think of. But even then, like, that drives me. It drives me. I'm like, I gotta be the best me I can be for myself and for the people I care about, brother. And taking those good memories from the past. That's why, like, nostalgia. You get all these dweebs are like, well, actually, nostalgia is blah, 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 blah. Maybe nostalgia is trying to tell you something, brother. Maybe nostalgia is trying to make you remember the good, so you can bring that good from the past. So go, oh, don't think about your past. No, that's bullshit. You should think about your past. I don't think you should fully lament on all the horrible stuff and all that type of stuff, but think about it and bring all that good stuff from the past into the future. What do you want to have into your future? Because you're still here, brother. You're still suffering at times. So what can you do to bring that in the future? What can you do to make yourself a fucking better version of yourself so you can protect the people you love? You can have all of these moments. You know, if you're so anal about life and how you live, there needs to be a balance. But if you're so anal about that, are you even enjoying life? Are you even looking at the beautiful trees and grass? Not to be like a fucking hippie about it, but there's some parts about hippies that, you know, it makes sense. I don't like their work ethic a lot of the time. I think their work ethic is dog shit, but it really depends. It really fucking depends, man. There's so much nuance to what I'm saying. It's not everything's black and white. My roommate's here. Not everything's freaking black and white, you know, and I think there's a lot of beautiful things in this life that if we really take the time to sit down and think about, it'll make you remember what is more real and authentic for you. Because when we were kids, again, we didn't, am I happy right now? Am I depressed? We never thought about this shit until someone told us. How you doing, brother?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, man. We never thought about any of this stuff until somebody told us that there was a problem. You know, so it's like, that's my whole thing. That's the whole thing. I know I'm going off on a little rant, but, you know, and I think having those moments can actually make you have more of a secureness in yourself when your heart really feels that beauty of freaking life, you know. So I'm talking so much. This was supposed to be, well, this is what I do. And I love it. I enjoy it. You know, you got to push out sometimes, like, oh, look at me, I'm freaking sounding crazy on my porch and blah blah blah. You know, but I know the things I'm saying are going to resonate. You know what I'm saying? I know for myself that there's going to be people that watch this and are like, shit, it makes sense. You know, so it's like, it doesn't matter. You can't oppress everybody, dude. Who cares if you look like a fool? You got freaking passion, brother. You got passion. People that irritate me are people that are passionless. It's not like you're going to be passionate about everything, but people that have no passion and they're so like derp. I think a little bit of derp instruction is all right, but balancing that shit the fuck out, you know? Dude looks like a famous actor. He's not. He would have looked at me and be like, I am that famous actor that you're thinking of. No, I can see people walking by. Hope you guys can hear my music. I love this game. And these are one of the things. That's why you got to check out Happy Console Gamer as well. If you're a little bit of a nerd. But even if you're not a nerd, he still says a lot of things. I'm going to try to link his shit in the description too. I really want to go out. I want to link the Metal Archive. I want to link freaking Happy Console Gamer. Because he'll be like, you guys ever have those games? He's been around for like 17 years on YouTube. He's like, you ever have those games that like just make you remember your childhood, make you remember the good shit? You know, he's like, that shit, that's me right there. He's not worried about looking cool. He already is cool. You know what I mean? He's fucking cool. Because he takes his passions and he's passionate about it. He has some umph in his voice. He's happy, he's passionate. He's all like, oh, people don't like my passion. What's going on here? You know, he's not like crying about dumb shit. You know, I understand that, yeah, you want friends, you want people. Freaking get out there. Go to a bar. Start drinking. Start kind of just letting it out. You know, not, you know, find the balance. Don't be like totally off the wall, but like, you never know, dude. Like, I believe, especially, I believe if you look high to a Holy Spirit or divine, it'll guide you, brother. And that might not be some perfect Bible thumping type of shit where it's like, you can't do this, you can't drink, you can't smoke, you can't do any of this stuff. You know, I think that God is way beyond our understanding. I think our natural animal instincts, that's why the whole concept of retard maxing, basically, there's a lot more to it. You know, instead of just trying to be some smart aleck all the freaking time. Like, you're the guy at school that nobody likes. You're the guy at school nobody likes, so you became that guy who's so in his head, seems so fucking smart that, you know, you're like, I'll show them. I'm more intellectual than they are. You know what I mean? You're the guy at school. You were that kid at school probably, and you were picked on. I know, I used to be that kid. But through my own life experiences, I realized, bro, you need to get a little humble. You need to take something from the jocks, brother. You need to take something from the jocks. Annoys me when I see them sometimes. It's cool up, man. Alright, cool. But whatever, it is what it is. I could like lament and fucking bitch about it, or I could keep going. Does it get in my head a little bit? Hell yeah. But I could sit with it and start lamenting and feel bad for myself, or I could just keep going, brother. None of us have the answers, man. None of us have all the answers. You know what's a really stupid quote? I don't like. My friend, she said that. She's like, all I know is that I know nothing. I was like, that doesn't make sense, because if you say all I know is that I know nothing, that means that you know nothing, so that means that you know something. You know? That means you know something. So there's shit that you know. And then there's shit that you know that there's might be more behind what you don't know. But I also do think that there are things in life that are actually just that simple. I think that they're that simple. Man, I love this shit, dude. If you haven't started on YouTube, you should. Oh yeah, I was saying, like, learn from the jocks a little bit. Get a little umph. You know, like, my dad, he works out hard. You know, he works out hard. He had that intense energy. You know what I'm saying? Love him to hate him. He had that intense energy. He had a lot of passion. And I would kind of work out as I was younger, like before 10 and stuff, and even a little bit older. But I was never really serious. But I always loved like Rocky and fantasy stuff and freaking the hero. You know what I mean? That was always in my blood. That was always me. And, you know, once I started living with him, he was always working out. He didn't drink, he didn't do none of that. He'd be working out, he'd be talking to me about, you know, drinking water, all this type of stuff. He'd go to the gym. I got really strong, dude. I could bench 245 at 14. I maxed out 245. He just took me to the gym. I was barely working out, just kept adding weight. And he was like, all right. He was happy. He kept comparing me to Gohan. I was like, yeah, all right. You know, but the potential is there. And you gotta bring it. You're not Gohan, you're you. You know what I'm saying? You can take stuff from them. You're not Goku, Goku's Goku. But then I just really got into working out. I even tried wrestling a little bit in my senior year of high school. But I got kicked off the team because I was like, not really following the rules. Like when it came to like the wrestling and stuff, yeah. But I'd be the type of kid who's like, I'm gonna get water. And I didn't ask the coach, hey, you can't take this jacket anywhere else. I'd take the jacket. And I was like in there for like 2 months. I remember I saw the coach again. I saw him again at the bar like a few months ago, and he's like, yeah, you should come. We're having a wrestlers reunion and stuff. And I was like, dude, I was barely interested enough to even be there. You know, I got some pride. I'm not like some ultimate wrestler. Hell no. But my dad, he'd do like capoeira. He grew up doing fighting and stuff like that. I did martial arts when I was younger. I did karate and stuff. And I feel like a lot of the times, I think it's good to maybe have something to prove at times, but also a balance has got to come from within. You know, and it's just like a lot of the people that are like, I'll show you, and they get all into themselves like, I'll be the best. You know what I mean? Like, alright, now you're the best. Now what? You know what I'm saying? Are you fucking satisfied with what you're doing? Or do you feel like, yeah, this is what I want to do? You know, there's going to always be people that are better at fighters, are going to be stronger than you and stuff. But do you feel like you're on the right path, you know? And maybe that's okay sometimes. But I think it's balance. Like, if it's taking you away, like, from really, like... Yeah, I'm actually going to take this off. Let's see. Ooh. Oh, man, oh, God. Oh, my hair. My head is so itchy from wearing that beanie. That looks pretty damn cool. But I remember one time, right? Because I breakdanced too growing up. I was a breakdancer, powerlifter. I think my highest lifts, my max bench was like 365, I think. Max deadlifts was actually higher now because I took a little hiatus for a while. It's probably not as high as I would like it. Probably like 455, 460. Biggest squat, probably around there, you know. I was at a point where I had like 315, I had the bar, and I could go like this without holding the bar and squat 315 like for like 5 reps. So I want to get there and beyond, you know. But sometimes that anger can fuel you in a good way. I remember my dad, like, damn, my phone's gonna die soon, but my time's almost up anyways. But my dad was, actually, let me get a freaking picture. I like that one better. I'm smiling. You know, he got me real pissed. We're doing like capoeira, and he's like, "Damn, bro, you suck. Like you kept getting booped up and bopped up and blah blah blah." And I was so mad that I went back home because I slept in the basement at this time, and 5 hours just practicing what you call hollow back. So think about a bridge. You know, when you're let's say you're on your back, and then you put your arms behind you and you push up, and your body is kind of like that. So let's say this is your back and this is your stomach. So you're like that, holding yourself. So a hollow back is basically like you're in a bridge, but your legs are off the ground. Look it up. Your legs are off the ground. So, yeah. So I practiced that for 5 hours and I got it. And then I was busting out hollow backs all the freaking time because I used that rage to fuel me. I was so upset. I used it to fuel me. You know what I mean? I didn't sit in it. I used it to freaking fuel me. So what is my point of this whole video? I don't know. I'm just fucking talking. I got like probably a minute left. I got 5% battery life. But it feels freaking good. And if you got a lot of shit to say, I would definitely implore you to start uploading a freaking YouTube channel. Start talking, brother. It's very cathartic. It feels very freaking good. But yeah, that's all I got to say today. And I'm going to probably make another one tomorrow because I got a day off. I'm going to freaking work out. I'm going to see if some of my friends want to hang out today because I get bored sitting with myself. Though I do like sitting with myself at times. And feeling shit. You know, remembering like I was talking about. It's good to remember. And then get out there. Then do stuff, you know? Don't be a hermit. Anyways, guys. Till next time, peace out.